Saxon's Trig, Lesson 10, the final section C, which is completing the square. I'm going to jump over to the example 6 on page 80 and talk you through this process. All right, so we have the ability to factor in order to solve a problem such as this. But when factoring doesn't work and it's not possible, we needed another method. So we came up with what someone titled completing the square. In order to do that, I need to have the problem in descending order with the x's on one side and the number on the other, the non-x term on the number. So this is not in the correct format. So we need to change this to be 3x squared minus x equals -5. I'm not moving sides, so I'm not changing the signs. I'm merely flipping the order, keeping this one positive and this one negative. Now that I am in the correct order, completing the square is in 3 steps that you basically need to memorize. So the rules are half it, square it, and then add it to the other side. So if you want to write down that order in your notes, completing the square means half it. Now, when I mean half, I'm talking about the x term. So half of the x term, square that and add that to the other side. This is the part that keeps everything in balance. So I have one other problem here in the setup before I can do the half it, square it, add it to the other side. And that is that my x squared cannot have a number with it. So this becomes complicated because it turns everything into fractions. All pieces must divide by 3. This one nicely goes to x squared, but this has become the fraction 1/3 x, and this one has now become 5/3. Okay, so here is my x term, -1/3, and I'm ready to follow these rules. And when I am doing these rules, they are always filling into a parentheses squared because this is how I'm doing my factoring bit, which usually has parentheses, and I'm going to force it to have something identical that is squared that makes this problem work. So I always write a plain x in this parentheses squared. So -1/3, I'm going to half it, times it by a half. That's -1/6, and it gets filled in here. Then I square -1/6 by multiplying it by another -1/6. That makes it positive 1/36. That's the square it. Then I am to add this 1/36 to the other side. So add 1/36 here. Calculator works fast. I'm trying to do a common denominator of 36, which then gives me 36 times 5. Okay, can't do that in my head. 36 times 5. So 180, -180 plus 1 gives me -179/36 here for this answer when I've put it together. Okay, so it's now completed the square. I have done the 3 steps, half to the x term, squared it, added it to the other side. But my goal was to solve for the x. So I need to remove the squared by square rooting, and what I do to one side, I need to do to the other. So this keeps the x minus 1/6. Sorry, technical difficulties on the phone there for a moment. X minus 1/6 stays equals, and I'm going to separate this into 2 parts. The numerator square roots, the negative inside it becomes an I, and the square root of 179 I can't do anything with. The square root of 36 is 6. My final step is to move this 1/6 over by adding it to this side. Don't want to turn the page just to simplify your answer for you, but basically if I go back up here to the top, x equals, And then this should technically be in front as one fraction. So we're going to write this as 1. Ooh, I failed to do something, and it's very, very critical. Whenever you put a square root around something, you always get answers that are positive and negative. So this should be 1 plus and minus I square root of 179 over top of, and they shared the same denominator, so I knew I could put them together. If you could simplify the 179, you would do so and see if you could then reduce. And I was hoping to see the 179 here in their example, but I don't. But it does look like it is able to simplify. Hang on a moment. Definitely figured out my mistake. I knew it had to be in here with this common denominator. I went to the -5 rather than this 5/3, which I should have. The 3 was turning into the 36, so this information was totally wrong. 3 goes into 36. 12 times 5 is 60. So this top should have been -60 plus the 1, -59. Now we're back. This should have been a 59. And then when I simplified up here, this should have been 59. 59 will not split up at all. So yes, this is my answer, 1 plus and minus I radical 59 over 6. So once again, the completing the square steps are half the x term, square it, add it to the other side. And then all of the rest of your steps are in the solving for the x.